for watching. It's the final day, just a quick reminder, it's the final day for the Get All 5 sale. So last video I showed you guys the books. It's a lot of confusion about the previous orders before. As I told you guys, books have been held up for a long time. A lot of people don't understand how it works to get a book out the correct way. As I said, anybody can put a book out. If you want to get your book to a publisher so it can be recognized and put out the right way so you're not sued later on, there's a process. You have to find a publisher that's reputable. You have to put your book out. It has to undergo processing by your publisher to make sure that there's no copyright or anything that's going to halt the book in the production. So any real publisher will do their due diligence and go out and follow these steps and make sure things can be done. And it'll save you time if before that you do that work yourself, which is what I do, to make sure that the pictures and the quotes and the passages from books that I'm using can be used under, Fair Act and, freeware, free use. So the publisher has to do their job to make sure this happens so the book can be released without problems. This happened. I got okayed from everybody. And one person reneged once they seen the book was being released and the book was selling. So that was the process. So the publisher had to halt production. This has happened to me twice. So this happened with Guide to God. That's what happened with the book. We helped it up. Until the last video, this was the first time I actually showed the actual book on video because we had issues with the book. The first books went out to only a few people. Only like a handful of people actually got the first copies. It was harder after that. No more books were sent to us. No more books were shipped out because of the lawsuit. But we work hard to get the books out, to get the books in, and to make sure people got their books. It's a huge, crazy process. And in that process, my father passed. I had health issues. There were tax issues I had with the IRS where my accounts was frozen. I didn't have any money. There's nobody I can turn to get money from. Everything was frozen. My business was held up. And these are the things that happens when you do stuff like this. So imagine every source of income you have, coming in is frozen completely. You can't even get into your bank account. And this is why people hide cash and why it's important to have a saving cash stashed away. But, it's a lot of stuff that happened in the process. And as I said, process is complete. We got books in. We're getting more books in. We're moving as fast as possible to get everybody who's been waiting their book. And I appreciate everybody's patience. There are some naysayers out there and haters out there who's trying to make it like this is some kind of fraud. Like I haven't been on YouTube for over a decade, putting out content. I created Merkabah Academy. I didn't do all this to risk my name, risk my reputation, to scam people out of a fucking book. Now I understand, rightfully so, some people were upset about the process, but everybody who's emailed me, and I've sent emails explaining, and I put videos out explaining what happened. Either you accept it or you do not. But to go in the comment section and tell people not to buy books because of some type of big scam going on, it's just fucking crazy. It's nuts. I'm here. I've shown you guys the books. The books are here. We're moving as fast as possible, and I appreciate everybody's support. Also, for the newcomers to the channel, people who wanted to follow in a few months, there's so many videos I have out on this and so many other things. But people don't understand Merkabah Academy. They don't understand about the digital downloads and the DVDs. They think I'm new on here just trying to cheat people out of money when I've been putting out free content for a long time. I've explained the reason why videos like this one and the last video that went out, you have not the entire video. It's because I can't release it. If I put the whole video on YouTube, it's going to come down because the content in the video can't be posted on YouTube. They will shut it down. I've shown you guys so many emails. I've shown you guys proof of videos being taken down. I've shown you guys how my channel was demonetized. They actually just brought my channel back on and demonetized. As you can see, the t-shirts and stuff selling at the bottom again. That was gone once they demonetized my channel because I threatened to sue. I threatened to sue them for discrimination and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I talked about in videos before, because for what my channel was demonetized for and taken down for, you have other channels that do far worse than what I do that's still up, and also it's verified by YouTube. Like I said, been at this for over a decade. It's just disheartening for people to send you emails and say, well, I want to buy your book, but I'm hearing from people that it's some type of scam. Like I haven't been here for over a decade putting out work. I'm not going to jeopardize all the work and everything I've done, all the, Merkabah Academy, everything I've done and put out. I'm not going to jeopardize that over a book to scam people out of a book. It's bullshit. You want to believe these people? That's fine. It's so many people who could have, asked for their money back, asked for refunds, who bought books long ago that have been waiting, that didn't complain once. Send me emails of encouragement. People understand this process, and when you're doing something like this, it's going to be hiccups. They're going to try to get in your way. They're going to try to stop you and discourage you, and they're going to try to turn people against you. If you're coming across so-called truthers and people who put out content like this, and they haven't faced the problems I've faced, they're frauds. It's bullshit. Like I said, y'all want to follow these people who get press conferences and get all this press and publicity and commercials and everything like that, and has verifications from YouTube, then you got to understand why they're not going through any trials and tribulations, because they're putting out exactly what they want to put out. It's no truth. When I put out the truth and I put out the real shit, my videos are taken down. But my accounts was frozen and I had no money, very little money. I didn't go on here and boo-hoo and try to put my business out there and put a GoFundMe up and ask for free money. I put out content. I put out a video, a DVD to get people to buy and support. I didn't come on here and say, hey, this is what's going on in the spring. I didn't do none of that because the work speaks for itself. I've been doing this for a long time, a lot of supporters, and I appreciate the support. But for the naysayers and the haters and the new people who don't know what's going on, that's what's going on. There's no scams going on here. A lot of people have supported, and we got everybody who ordered will get their order. We got so much extra books in the deal that I made the sale. It's the reason why the sale exists. I could have just sold those books for normal prices, but I'm making it easier for people to get the books because of the weight. It's no scam. I have a real good deal. I have a lot of extra books, which they're almost gone. That's why the sale's almost over. So instead of me just taking these books and selling them normal price, I put together this amazing deal for people to take advantage of, and I can't even get, people calling it a scam. And it's not even very much support for it because people believe in the shit people talk about in the comments, and they don't even know what the hell happened. They don't even understand, it's a lot that went on. And the reason why I didn't put out a lot of information on it, because there's no point. It is what it is. You believe in me, you trust me, I've been doing this for a long time, then it is what it is. I appreciate the support. And people who know. Also, when I put out the older videos and they cut off at the end, I'm not doing that to get people's money. I'm doing that, as I said, because I can't put out the entire video because it will be taken in. Just that simple. So people complaining, you're charging for videos and this and that. When I put out the never pay again sale from $19 all the way up to $100. So it's been years it's been out to where people could have purchased it for 20 bucks, $100, and never had to worry about buying another video again. So I don't understand the complaint when has nothing to do about not being able to afford. It's that programming that doesn't want to support Black business, don't want to support Black people when they're trying to sell something. People are programmed to not support Black people. We're programmed to not support each other. So people want to make excuses like, why are you selling shit and other people putting out stuff for free, and don't want to give you credit or help you out towards the work that you're putting in on something that's, time consuming. It's people who paid $500 for a never pay again membership when I first released it. It's a bunch of people. Imagine how they feel seeing it for $100 now. But I have to do that because how, time shift and how things have happened. And it's just how business is done. It's not fair to a lot of people, but unfortunately, I'm not in a position where I'm huge enough to just make it one price, and the price fluctuates because people broke, or people don't want to spend money, or I got to entice people or make it, favorable for people to even support. So it is what it is. So, don't complain about videos for sale or what have you. Never pay again. It's still there. It came with the flash drive. It comes with this deal. It's there. So if years pass by, you can follow me for years and you're still complaining about paying for videos. You could have nipped that in the bud years ago for $100 and never have to worry about it again. I think that's more than fair. So I don't put these videos out and trying to make people purchase them. It's just, I got to put them out and I can't show the entire video. But again, I try to explain myself and I don't have to, but it's just people who just won't never understand it is what it is. But yeah, wanted to talk about this real quick, but yeah, let's get into this video. It's a good video. Make sure you guys take advantage of this sale. It's going to be ending after tomorrow. Take advantage of it. Check your emails. I gave deals to never pay again members. Again, check your emails for those deals. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Let's get into this video.
You have vibration, you have this movement that's happening really fast that we can't detect it. So it looks like nothing is moving at all. Now we're talking about billions of atoms moving. Now, when you go to put your hand on the wall, that sensation you are feeling that we call touch is the electromagnetic force of the electrons in the wall and the electrons in your hand. And that sensation you are feeling is basically the force of the electrons, because when electrons come in close contact, they pass photons, and the photons is basically pushing away. So it's almost like, a pressure situation that you create on a quantum level to where it feels like touch, but that sensation is not touch. It's just the force, pushing off of each other from the electrons in the wall and the electrons in your hand. Now you can basically generate enough pressure, enough force, enough energy. If you generate enough energy to basically break through the force of the electron, then you can punch through a wall. You just broke through it. And that takes a lot of force, of course. So this is how things are broken. You have more force in one than in the other. If you don't generate enough force to break through, the electromagnetic field, the force that's there, then, you're just going to have a feeling sensation. Now, since all vibration, you have things vibrating at different frequencies. They are dancing. You heard people always say, well, atoms dance. They do a different dance. So atoms in the wall versus the atoms in your hand are basically dancing different ways, moving different ways. So, of course, the atoms in the wall are moving differently from, let's say the atoms on your couch. You feel your couch, it feels completely different from a wall, of course. So, of course, atoms in different material is vibrating and moving at different rates of speed, different frequencies. So when you touch them, they have different feelings. And this is why things feel different ways, because, of course, those atoms are coming together to create different elements, which is going to create different material. So, of course, it's not going to feel the same. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to look the same or sound the same or what have you. So, when we say everything is made of atoms, of course, when atoms come together, they are not all alike anymore. You have these elements now, even though, we go back to atoms. And this is what you're getting the different frequency from and vibration from, these different elements, these different materials that's giving us different vibrations, different sounds, different tastes, smells, or what have you. All of this stuff comes down to vibration. It comes down to energy. So we have vibration, we have frequency. Everybody knows vibration, something vibrating. A lot of people are not completely clear on frequency. Frequency, what is that? A lot of people, when they think frequency, they think about, a radio station, tuning your channel or tuning your radio to a certain frequency. Now, frequency is basically how many times something goes by within a certain amount of time, basically. We heard about frequently, you have frequency. Frequently is basically something that happens, frequently, over and over again. Frequency is something that happens, over and over again based on a time. So with frequency, you have how many waves go by per second with frequency. So when you look at a frequency wave or energy wave, it looks like this. And you have these high and low points on the wave, on the wavelength. The high and low points are the amplitude. So you have the amplitude of the wave, and you have the amount of waves going by per second. In this case, you have 20 waves going by per second at a pretty decent amplitude. So these waves going by per second are measured in hertz. So you have 20 hertz here in a frequency wave. So the higher the amplitude and the more waves you have going by per second, of course, means, the stronger the frequency, the stronger the energy. Now, I'm showing you this because I want you to think about it in the same terms as you. This is you. We are vibration. We are frequency. We are energy. So when you think about tuning a radio, when you think about tuning a piano, when you think about changing your TV dial or station or what have you, when you think about this stuff in terms of energy, frequency, vibration, sound, everything, it is all you. This is stuff that is natural. This is the makeup of the universe itself. It is you. It is all the same. So frequency, sound, vibration, Think about it in the universe. When you have sound, you have things, sound bouncing off of something. It needs some kind of material to bounce off, to keep going. Sound travels, vibration. If you have air, you can still have vibration. You can still make sound travel through the air because the air is something. So all of this stuff deals with you and the makeup of you. All this stuff goes back to who you are and how we was created, how the universe began to create everything in existence. So everything in existence, you're going to find deals, again, vibration, frequency, sound. It all goes back to energy and consciousness. Now, we've all seen cymatics. With cymatics, they basically use vibration and sound. They use frequency to create these patterns, to create these shapes. This is the same thing that took place in the universe. Everything is made of stardust. So they use the sand to kind of represent that with vibration and sound, with frequency, you can create these patterns. This is what happened in our universe so long ago. You had stardust, you had the vibration, the frequency of the universe, the energy bring together planets, form galaxies, form moons, and so many different things that we see out there in space. This all came together due to music. Just like math, we didn't create math. We didn't create music. We just discovered that it already existed before we did. Music has already been here. So when you have this vibration, when you have these frequencies playing out in space, it creates sound. You've heard that, there's no sound in space, but they have already proven that wrong. Of course there's sound. You have a certain field, a certain parameter in which you can hear. Certain things you cannot hear don't mean they don't exist. But you have different instruments that you can use that can actually pick up sound in space. They have done so already. But this is what happened. This is how all this stuff comes together with sound, vibration, frequency. Planets formed, things formed and came together because of energy. So understanding one, vibration, light, sound, all of this stuff, frequency as well, all of it is energy. It all goes back to energy, which goes back to consciousness. So consciousness creating energy, energy vibrating, putting out frequency, creating these different atoms and elements to give us creation itself. All of this stuff happening at a quantum level, at a small level that goes deeper, than atoms. We can get in, as I said before, we can go to quarks, which gave us our protons and neutrons or what have you. You can go into string theory, which when you get into string theory, you're talking about these tiny, tiny vibrating strings of energy. So it goes back to energy, so it's just better to start with that, say that. But to get into it deeper, as I said I would, you have vibration, you have frequency. So we have this consciousness, we have this energy, we have this frequency and vibration creating the material physical world. Now, talked about Satan being the lower brain, Satan being the god of the material physical world. So, what was Satan's job in heaven? Now, in Ezekiel, it talks about the 4 cherubs that was in the throne room of God, in the corners of the throne room of God. And Satan's job was basically the cherub that covereth, as it talks about in Ezekiel. So Satan's job was basically to cover the throne of God. He basically was to usher in the congregation and basically have the congregation basically worship God. Now, Ezekiel says that in his being, as I talked about in Ancient History Volume 1, we went through this, and Ezekiel talks about in his very being were basically tabrets and pipes was built into his very being. And tabret, of course, I talked about, it's basically like a small drum. They have different tabrets, but it's basically like a drum. It really goes back to colonial times and before that, where you have a person with a tabret basically play the drum to basically keep on step the person playing the fife, which a fife is like a small flute. But it denotes sound, music being played. So you're talking about music in his physical being, pipes, drums. When you think about pipes in somebody's physical being, you think about these pipes being their what? Their organs. Organs. So organs have pipes. And it's not a coincidence or a play on words that organs sound the same as an organ, which is a musical instrument. They know what they're doing. They did this with the English language for a reason. And it's, the same reason why you see when somebody's playing an organ, there's always something evil, Phantom of the Opera, or like a ghost or somebody playing the organ to denote, evil, something evil. But it has pipes. Now, when we say a person has pipes, they can blow, they can sing. This is what we mean. Now you have to understand your vocal cords is basically a two-band tissue in your larynx. Your larynx is in the top of your trachea, which your trachea is basically your windpipes. Your windpipes. So you have air from your lungs that passes through your vocal cords that creates this, unique sound. That unique sound, of course, is the sound of you, your voice. You have a different voice, different from everybody else. So when this air passes through your vocal cords, they vibrate, vibration to give you your unique sound. So when you go back to Satan and you think about, what was Satan's job? He had these musical instruments built into him or what have you. His job had to be choir director. He was the choir director. He ushered in the congregation to praise God. How do they praise God in church today? With song. They sing. This was Satan's job. This is what it's alluding to in the Bible. Remember, they give you subtle clues and tips, little hints. They don't give you 100% clarity, but when you pay attention, this is exactly what it's talking about.